Hello. So this video is exactly as advertised. No sponsorships, no nonsense. This is it. It is literally just me reviewing every primer that I own. For starters, I have combination sensitive skin, so obviously what works for me is probably going to work very differently for you who's watching. The moisturizer I use after I've done all my face washing, skincare, etc. is just Johnson's baby lotion. I've always used this. Everything else, I mean, there have been some moisturizers that I've liked, but nothing is as good for me specifically as this. Uh, yeah, and nowadays, when my go-to foundation slash skin tint base product is this Purlisse vitamin C tinted moisturizer. This just works the best for me and is compatible with most of the primers that I use, and I really like it. But again, what works for me is obviously not going to work for you. I just want to be very transparent from the beginning so that if oh, I just noticed this. If you go and try a product after this video that I reviewed and it doesn't do the same thing that I said, whether underneath your makeup or whatever, just yeah, I wanted to be transparent about that. Let's start with the e.l.f. putty primers. Now, I've tried just the regular poreless putty primer, and like a couple months ago, I threw mine out because it was years old and I hit pan and it was probably getting gross, and I've been meaning to try the liquid version. So the ones I still have, the e.l.f. matte putty primer. I like this better than the poreless one, actually, just for me. The poreless one is a classic. It works really well with most of the things that I've used over the years, and I've mostly only heard good reviews about it from other people. The matte one just works better because of how oily my T-zone gets uh, throughout the day. Next up, the acne fighting putty primer. I tried this on a whim, okay? I happened to have an extra couple bucks. I once had a friend who tried it because she had a lot of acne and redness, and but also still wanted to get into makeup, so she got this and said it was all right. I liked this a lot better than I thought I would. I put it only in my T zone, where that just places that tend to break out after I've done makeup. This has been a game changer for me as a musician. If I have more than one event or concert in a week that I have to do makeup for in order to not look like crap on stage. This cannot be used as a skincare product. It has an active ingredient that helps prevent breakouts, but this is not something to treat your acne with, of course. But it's helped me. The worst that has happened to me is that, like, if I use it more than like 3 times a week, which has only ever happened to me once, my skin tends to get a little, like, not cracked but weak. I don't know how to say, like, describe it. Like, I'll just like do this in the mirror to my nose and I'll be like, ooh, it's looking a little it looked like it needed rejuvenation. That's the best way I could put it. Uh but yeah, no, I like this product. And I could see people with oily skin or people who are prone to breakouts really liking this. But like if you have dry skin, just predominantly dry skin, I would not recommend this. The Luminous Putty Primer. It's okay. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It does what it says it does. Just for me personally, it tends to melt off and it's kind of yellow. And my skin tone is just a little warmer than neutral. I've used it before for events where I wanted a more lit from within glow, but that leads me to the next primer that I on my list that I would recommend more than this. This is the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. I got this for prom originally. I was shopping with my friend for prom, and when I picked up this foundation, this one size turn up the base, she recommended to me that I use this one underneath, and she was right. They work together really well. Just this is exactly what it says it does, though. There's no like SPF extra whatever. This is just an illuminating primer. But it's nice. I like the way it illuminates. It's got more of like a mother of pearl like sheen to it. My camera kind of sucks, but It's advertised to be able to be used for like no makeup days, and while I've done that before, that's just not my preferred use for it. Actually, I just remembered that technically I got this full size version later, like a year after. I originally had the mini version and then I gave it to a friend as a gift. Because, yeah, I like that it does all the things that you would want a primer to do, which is probably like smooth your skin, keep your foundation from literally melting off in the day. But it also has that added, like, something, you know? Another Rare Beauty product. This is the eye primer. It's an eye primer. That's it. It doesn't really add much coverage. So if you're someone who likes to have like a concealing product as well that also functions as your under the eyeshadow primer, I wouldn't recommend this. I also have tried the hack that people were talking about like a year or two ago where it said that like if you didn't want your makeup to just slip off of your nose throughout the day, to put like a layer of eye primer underneath everything. I personally didn't notice that much of a difference. I find that like proper scrubbing with skincare helps more with that. And like Rare Beauty has these blotting sheets that I've had for a long time that just they work for that too. It's not a magical product, but also a lot of Rare Beauty products are not supposed to be full coverage, full glam anyway. Rare Beauty's much more marketed towards like natural looking makeup. In that case, this is a great product, but otherwise I would just use your concealer. Like I use the cheap e.l.f. concealer and it does the job just fine, so I kind of just have this to have it. Another thing I have just to have it, when e.l.f. like re-released their Jelly Pop stuff that people really wanted back, I got the Jelly Pop primer, and I remember seeing a review or two that said that they missed this primer when like the Hydro Grip primer was taking over the internet. I've never tried the Hydro Grip primers from e.l.f., but I've tried this and it's something. It's like it is very sticky. Like I knew it was going to be sticky, but it felt like getting a facelift when I was trying to put it all over my face. So the application's a little difficult, but once you get it on, it's worth it. I've tried a couple of different foundations, including the e.l.f. foundation over top of this. Yeah, it's a primer. It's sticky. It really just keeps everything locked in place, to almost a creepy degree. Would I say it improves the finish of anything? I think for my skin type specifically, it's not doing anything crazy, but again, these are gonna work different on everybody. Also, I like that it smells nice. It smells like candy. The only reason I don't reach for this one or some of these other ones more often is because, like, especially during the summer, I always go to my holy grail, the Unseen sunscreen from Supergoop, because it has SPF. I don't have to layer on more products and accidentally ruin the finish of the final product, if SPF and primer and whatever else is all in one. My only complaint with this is it's expensive. This was a gift for me before college from my mom, and that's why I still have it, because it is precious to me and I've been trying to use it sparingly. I haven't tried the dupes for this specific product yet. I have tried this e.l.f. one with the tint in it, and everyone I know who uses this loves it. The only reason I don't reach for this more often, I mean, it has the SPF 30 instead of 40. It functions as a makeup primer. It's glowy. It's pretty. I have mild psoriasis. I have a couple patches that will always pop up in a couple areas, and this triggers them or just makes them worse if they're already starting to appear and then I use this. And I have a friend who told me that actually they also heard that that can happen with this product, that if you have skin that tends to crack, to avoid this product. But I still recommend it to people. I like this product. My only advice to people who want to try this is like shake it before you use it, and at some point I really want to try like the clear version that dupes this, but for now this Supergoop sunscreen kind of trumps everything for me, because it doesn't make me break out. A lot of skincare sunscreens that I've used that are formulated specifically for your face, even the ones that say breakout free, make me break out. That it could just be me. I'm sure there's plenty of people who love all of those sunscreens I've tried and it works just fine for them, but and when I love that this one is totally clear because that means for anyone with darker skin tones, it's not going to leave a white cast. People I've met at school can concur with that. I'd say this is my favorite of everything that I'm talking about today, but it's again, it's one con is that it's pretty pricey, especially because it's only what 1.7 fluid ounces for like well over $40 to $50. I'll have to check if the price has changed since I got this. Moving on, this is one of my favorite primers. This is the Touch in Sol Pretty Filters. This is one that I tried back when I still had an Ipsy subscription. It's just amazing. I can't believe it's silicone free because it feels like a silicone primer whenever I use it. And it's just like it smooths my skin a little too perfectly, like giving that like almost like filtered look. Given every time I do my makeup, I use really good powders. I tend to use either the One Size foundation powder or the Anastasia Beverly Hills translucent setting powder. Of course, there are better and more widely known powders on the market than those two. Those two are the ones that I own and I'm going to use until they are gone because they're pricey. But I've tried both of them with, I'm pretty sure, almost all of these primers, and they do it. Good setting powder, good setting spray. In case you decide you want to look for it, I originally bought a second tube off of Ipsy after I was starting to use up the first one that I got in my subscription box. This one, it's a K-Beauty primer, so you might have to look a little further. I don't know if it's available on Amazon, but I recommend this one a lot. Another primer I got when I had Ipsy was this Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. Now, I had always heard good things about this product from influencers, but I never got to try it because like even the smallest container you can get at Sephora or Ulta is a lot of money. This is the 0.5 fluid ounce sample size, and I love it. At first, I was afraid of it because the first time I used it, my skin stung just a little bit, and it smells pretty strongly of lemons. I want to point out the scent because I don't think enough influencers talk about the scent of a lot of well-known products. But every time I've used this, and like I've also used it on other people's faces when I do their makeup, it's like magic in a bottle. I don't know what else to say. I'm definitely going to want to invest in the full version of this at some point in my life. It just makes every makeup look I've ever done look that much better. And I do like that, you know, it isn't just a primer. When it says it's vitamin enriched, I mean, they're not joking about that, and it's hydrating. And every time I try a hydrating primer, I never really notice the difference, but with this one I do. And the last one I have in front of me, I don't even know if this counts as a primer. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This was something I treated myself to after a paycheck. And I know it's supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood filter, and this took the internet by storm. So like my review is going to be one of like millions, but I thought it was all right. Like I mentioned earlier, I do have problems with like mild acne, mild psoriasis, and while I wouldn't say this has triggered my psoriasis as much as this, it looks better on camera than in person. I find that when I layer makeup over top of it, my makeup just looks a little like painted on. Like not in the full coverage way, but also not in the cakey way. It just looks thick. Ever since I got this, they have made it at least one lighter shade that I wish that I'd tried instead of this, because it does run pretty yellow. But I heard a review that likens this thing to more like a BB cream than the actual like lit with it from within filter underneath the foundation thing, and I kind of agree. It is just kind of like a glorified BB cream. But that doesn't mean it's a bad product. If anyone is out there is thinking of trying it, I say go for it. It's not one that I would be like, you could spend your money on better things. Like, I would definitely recommend this over the Luminous Putty Primer, just because this is way less like oily and has more of like a shine to it, where this one is just a lot of yellow glitter. I forgot one. It was not the last one. This is the last one I wanted to talk about. This is the Neutrogena Glow Primer and Serum Hydra Boost. This is a hidden gem. I don't see enough people talking about this. This really, for like those no makeup days, or like light makeup, or just like when you want to feel like your skin is even more hydrated, like this just, it's all in one in this bottle. I think this would be a really great option for people with dry skin, versus the combination. Like, whenever I use this, I have to pair it with something else. Like, I have to put like the matte putty primer in my T-zone, because otherwise, like, this entire area of my face, like the makeup just kind of melts off. But everywhere else, this just, it's great. And for a drugstore selection, like, I wasn't expecting too much out of this when I first got it. And I think I got it with the L'Oreal True Match skin tint. And that product works really well with this one. Is it the best thing I have ever used? Absolutely not. I think the two products of this video that I would recommend the most to people are these two. Oh my gosh, these two high-end products. Like, yes, they're pricey, but you're really getting your money worth. This is just like a really nice find if you're either on a budget or you just like have no idea what to use for a primer. Maybe you've never used a primer before. And that's it. That's the end of the video. Okay, thank you for watching. Have a good day.